Hello, hello, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the A.W.O.L Season 3 Invitational. This is the top cut that we are streaming for you here. I've seen a couple of the names on the list, but I haven't taken full stock of the top 16 yet, which I'm sure we'll go over here in a moment. But I am joined by the one, the only, the who are you again?
I forget sometimes. Usually that amnesia hits me pretty hard in the afternoon. But Blue Oak TV hashtag ad. Feel free to subscribe to both me and the AWOL Discord or Discord, YouTube. I don't know. It's been a long day. A lot of stuff happening. But yeah, some good games going on here. We have a fun top 16. A lot of popular players. For Nico, I believe went undefeated the entire way. So congrats to
Ooh.
Nico there. And other than that, yeah, a lot of good folks here in the top 16. A lot of players that we've seen a lot of, and yeah, should be a fun one to decide who's going to make it.
Nico going undefeated is the top seed. I didn't watch too many of the actual games. I went out and about until we had to stream. Watched a couple Rinku and Freeloader games. But did you see what Frenico was on for the Swiss?
Yeah, was on the traced.
Traced, of course. I can't wait for the days of Muna to come back in the next month or so and have all of the Muna players back away from the other various decks they've been playing. Argon, hello. Also says bug fix traced. It's good. It's good to get one tournament win out of the way before that is suspended in what 4 more days.
Yeah, I think so, something around there. I know
Yeah.
he was running bug fixed. Bug fix. So yeah, I saw Arkin saying he was playing bug fix. Yeah. I saw bug fix. I didn't see him actually do the bug fix things when I was watching them, but um obviously if there's a bug fix in there, then the bugs will be used.
Of course. Now I moved away from the top cut like an idiot as I was about to read it, but here is your top 16. You have Frenico Rico, Arthur Basilar. He told me how to say his name once and now I forgot, so hopefully that was the right way. Banish Pakakuti, very cool name. AJT Eliwee, BB Ammo. Actually, don't think I know what BB is. That's a newer one.
Better Business
Freeloader,
Bureau.
better business. Well, that's BBB. This is
Mm,
just two
mm,
B's.
that's true.
Bodacious Babes. That's what it
Probably.
stands for. I bet.
Yeah.
Uh, Freeloader, David Gab 97, Octan, Weebs, Just BBTV, DQ, Agamon,
One of our
Exalts,
one of
Argon,
our qualifiers previously, I've been.
nice. AA Blue Ocean, Puppyette, another qualifier, right? No,
No.
maybe soon to be at last chance qualifiers, I'm sure. Kruskulls and SUD Athor. That is your top cut. We have about 5 more minutes that they have of a little break here before the matches start going up. What do you want to see, Blue? And what does chat want to see?
Yeah, I mean, we can defer to chat to see if they have a preference on which game they want to take a look at. Since we didn't do the Swiss, I guess we can show Frenico as being the undefeated player, just in case they get wiped out in the first round, which is the tradition for undefeated players in Swiss
Yep.
to go out in first round of Top Cut. But other than that, let's see. MO versus Argon might be fun. Eliwee's always a good time. Honestly, just a lot of good players in every single matchup. So I don't think we can go to a wrong one in particular. Freeloader is going to play Agumon, so I assume that'll be Hojo versus Finn matchup. Yeah. Yeah, I think in priorities, it would be the Frenico match just because they're 1 seed, and then the Ammo and Argon match might be fun. Hey, Gav Kenny, how's it going?
Hello,
Uh,
hello.
and yeah, and yeah, I don't know. Honestly, we could flip a coin and I'd be happy either way.
Yeah, it is a interesting setup here where we don't know too much about the Swiss, as we haven't been watching it for the entire day, basically.
Mhm.
But that means as well we'll have some surprises. We'll see some things for the first time, so that'll be very good. I also have 146 ELO right now, so I need to find a way to donate that. I'm not allowed to have that much ELO, so
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I've been playing a bunch of demo deck uh, games on BGA because I hadn't gotten the cards until recently, and I just wanted to play with new cards. And I've been donating Elo by just playing anything that's not Soul, pretty much.
yeah, that'll do it. Hello, Banish, one of our top 16 players. Good luck out there. Hope you do everything you want to do, whatever that may be.
Everything you wanna be.
Oh yeah, I was also noticing that it does say the altered services are unavailable currently.
Yeah, it seems like it's
Um,
fine though.
yeah, I could just jump into a turn-based game to double check.
Yeah, you'd have to start a new one,
Yeah, that's
right?
fine. I can do it. Oh wait, this is demo deck though. Oh no, wait, no, this is normal and custom. Okay, I will be the guinea pig.
Woo.
Let's see if I can select my deck.
All
It worked for me. So,
right. Well, I think what we'll do is we'll jump into the first person to populate the link in the Discord, and that way it'll be truly random, and it'll prioritize the people that decided to be first.
oh, I lied. It timed out selecting my deck. It showed them, but then when I went to select it, it said that my decks are lost in the tumult. So we might have a little bit of a delay here. Let me try again and see if it works.
Might be a problem. But yeah, hello everyone. Thanks for joining the stream. Sorry we weren't able to do a Swiss this time around. We could have, but for the most part, it didn't want to be the only people bothering you for the entire day. So we prioritize the top cut for everyone to take a look at for this Altered Weekly Online League Season 3 Seasonal Invitational. It's been a fun season, right? We're obviously going through the pre-releases now. Has anyone had any good pre-releases? Any fun decks that they've built? Any fun synergies that everyone should be aware of? Huh? Huh? Huh?
Yeah, I saw a couple people asking like day of or day before if there were any really good combos people have noticed. I was like,
Hmm.
man, 80% of people haven't even had a chance to play yet.
Well, I just went to the link that Fernico provided. We'll see if they can pick decks.
Yeah, I disconnected to reconnect. I'm gonna see if that'll work for me. Can't select deck. Yeah. All right. I don't know if you're a player and you're listening to the stream. I am trying on my end to see if this works, and I don't think it did. Let me retry. Not linked. So let me connect.
So I guess we're gonna have to use demo decks or starter decks at this point, right?
Yeah, top cut sky demo decks. Actually, no. For yep, unable to contact altered server. No, unfortunate timing. Yep. I would say do not disconnect.
First it's BGA, now it's the altered servers. What can you do? Crazy.
Yep. Yeah, you were saying that it's been a good season. It has, and for us, it's been a very busy last month entirely. I don't think there's a weekend of the past like 40 days that either of us have not at least done one altered related thing on the weekend.
Yeah.
Um
I don't think we've had a weekend off for a while now, right?
yeah, even counting I usually go on Thursdays as well. I think there were 2 leading up to the pre-release that we didn't do, just because people were waiting for pre-release and people were traveling. But other than that, I also go to an LGS every Thursday, and then, yeah, we've had AWOL consistently. Now we're at the Invitational. We had the demo deck tournament last weekend. Before that was all of the WCQs. Blue and I also did Canada, and even before that, did Dallas. And then right before Dallas was Gen Con.
Appreciate it, Argon. Yeah, I mean, it is busy, but it's a fun time to do it. I don't think any of us would be doing this unless we actually like doing it as a whole. It was actually weird yesterday on Saturday not doing anything. I felt kind of weird. I probably could have worked on a video for my channel, which I still need to edit, but um, yeah, other than that, it was weird on Saturday not doing anything in particular. But yeah, it's been a fun one. It's been busy season. Then obviously we all get to have the fun of joining everyone over in France and getting to meet some folks out there. Hopefully Cole doesn't get his passport, but if he does happen to get it, then I guess he'll be there too. Anyone else have any plans for checking out Paris, France, and doing everything? That would be. I want to know anyone in the chat that's going that I can look for, and I'll be sure to sign your chest if which I'm sure you'll want while I'm there.
Yep, definitely let us know. The whole AWOL team will be there in France on the ground. As for our issues here, I was able to reconnect my altered account, so that's progress.
Sweet.
But I still can't select a deck quite yet. I don't think the players are getting in there, but let me see if it shows. Yeah, Frenico is not in a game currently. Um,
Someone else posted a link. I'll check that one. Um, but yeah, and also just keep in mind, I say the signing your chest thing with full understanding and being able to look at my analytics that it is 100% male. So just be aware of that. Let's see what else we have going on here. Checking one game here. Still waiting. Doesn't look like they can choose either at the moment.
yep.
Uh,
Uh, Not yet, not yet. Yeah, thanks for the kind words. We appreciate it. And as Blue said, we wouldn't be doing it if we didn't like doing it, especially because we're paid in smiles and prayers. And prayers get you. I'm just kidding. I don't want to make that joke. But yeah, if you're watching the VOD and you're not watching live, but you're going to France, let us know. Well,
looks like Argon's coming. Cool, cool,
yeah,
cool. Tell us exactly what you'll be wearing so we know where to look for you.
yeah. Can you send us your fit for all 3 or 4 days?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah. For anyone that is coming, you can let us know you're coming, but you also have to let us know exactly what you're wearing. And if you can't tell us exactly what you're wearing, have one specific thing that you won't change each time. Like wear a
Mm,
pin that
yep.
says AWOL or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Or everyone can just wear like red, white, and blue scarves.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. It looks like we're still having some problems with other players, so still no option to begin yet. We're about 6 minutes past the hour. We'll give it a few more times. we have a Banish saying to go demo decks as is tradition. But at the moment, still waiting on things. Cole, how was your latest pre-release? I know you decided to do one yesterday, right?
Yeah, yep. So I did it last night, and for me personally, it went horribly.
Mm,
Probably the worst I've ever done in a pre-release or sealed or draft. Um, my luck is always the worst out of anyone. We got a bunch of when we did the tumult, we got a bunch of extra OP packs and things like that, and they were all opening them afterwards and showing all the uniques they got. And a guy named Beck had laid out like 5 or 6 from his packs. I opened every single one in front of them to show them, and I got 0 uniques.
mm,
So that's about how my pre-release packs went. I only got my 1 guaranteed unique, no others. Um, I wanted to play Moyo going into it because I thought that he would be fun in sealed. Did not get near enough support, so I went Isari. And I think Isri is a really good option for draft or sealed, especially if sky boosters are involved.
mhm.
But I just could not pull out the wins. So very unfortunate, but it was a good time. I really like the pre-release boxes, and if your store has extra, it's always worth it to purchase some of those, unless they, mark them up an insane amount or something.
Yeah. No, some people have been dealing with that, but keep at it. I'm sure it'll be a little bit better here sooner, or maybe not. Who knows? Either way, yeah, it looks like we're still having some of the same issues. I tried to go on Altered and see if there's any issues with the actual site, but it seems like it's running fine.
Yep, I still cannot select my deck for this turn-based game that I jumped into. Unfortunately, being that it is Sunday at 10 p.m. In France, I don't think there's much we can do right now. Just incredibly unfortunate timing. I'm not sure I've ever actually had this version of the problem happen that lasted for more than like 3 seconds. So,
I mean, the good thing is that we've made it all the way through the Swiss rounds, and now we're just at the top cut.
mhm.
So, I mean, technically, we could reschedule for a different time period and make sure everyone is ready kind of thing. We only have 16 people to coordinate, but if not, we can do things like Simon mentioned and just have the games be played sporadically when players are available. Hopefully, we'll be able to get everyone together though, so that way we're able to record some of the events for this season 3 invitational. If not, maybe we just do the finals. I don't know. I have to
Yep.
figure it out.
Yep. We can all just blame Runefolk who got sick. Maybe if we were here all day, this never would have happened. So, what can you do? We have to have a fall guy, and who better than someone who is not currently here to defend themselves?
Usually the best person to blame.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, freeloader. I mean, as far as timing is concerned, this is probably the best timing that we could have had with it. We'll give it another. I think Simon said 15 minutes total to take a look at things, and still have the same issues. About 10 minutes after, and then we can let y'all know what the final decision will be if the game is not available sooner rather than later. In the meantime, still waiting, and yeah, this may mean I might get to join a pre-release this Sunday because originally I was planning on not going so that way I could be here for this, but um, maybe if this doesn't work, I'll go to that and have a nice little surprise there, and probably pay extra while I'm there because everyone's charging extra. But in the meantime, it should be fine.
Yep. I'm still testing here on my side. No progress. Freeloader mentioned that he will be wearing a cape at Worlds.
Mm.
Did you finally get the wizard robes designed for AQZ? I feel like you need to make that happen for each person going. Delaying until after October 3rd, the bug fix patch will be in. That is very correct. I would imagine we would try to do like tomorrow or something because Monday is usually AWOL day anyways. So
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario, like, we were mentioning, it'll just be a thing of if we can't get everyone together, then I'm sure we can find a way for players to make 30 minutes of their time available to play the games, and they can just have them done sporadically. Simon can say, everyone in round 1 has to be done by end of this date, and so on and so forth, I think, especially with all large amount of EU players and, stuff like that, but either way, it's been a fun event. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of good players that ended up making it to the top 16. Cole, did you have any favorites looking at the top 16 before we got delayed?
you know, there used to be a player that I would always mention rooting for, and maybe I'm the bad luck charm, so I will not say that person.
Mm.
Looking at the top 16, is there anyone that I want to curse? I don't think there's anyone that's wronged me from this top 16.
I mean, it's always
Um
fun to go to freeloaders games and curse them as
yeah.
casters.
Yeah, I was gonna say Freeloader is probably the closest one as he has cursed me on a game or two. And he recently ruined my streak of always beating him.
Mm.
So yeah, freeloader, I hope you do great. You're gonna win it. I believe in you.
Nice. Yeah, it was always interesting looking at Freeloader and what he can do as far as his decks. He says he doesn't play competitively, but spends a lot of time on those Bravos decks these days, and it, of course, is part of Team AQZ, who is a notorious hostage group in particular. And I'm not going to clarify that at all. AQZ is a hostage organization,
Mhm.
and the FBI should look into them.
True. True facts. Uh I also heard he is the best Kojo player in the world. So who better to win it than the best Kojo player in the world?
That's what some people say, but at the same time, I feel like they have not qualified though, so shouldn't they have qualified at this point?
They're just waiting until the LCQ, which is
Oh, okay.
when all the true big dogs qualify. Because then they can't change their deck, which is actually a very good question that I have been thinking about. Unfortunately, last night on my way home, I was listening to Chili talk about it on his podcast. The
Mm,
the whole conquest thing and what a lot of people will point towards who don't like it is, oh, if Eliwee went and they vetoed his uh Fen deck, wouldn't it be so terrible to not see Eliwee playing Fen? I kind of think personally, I think of it as the opposite. I'd be like, wouldn't it be so awesome to see what the hell else Eliwee would play? Or, if Rinku or Freeloader had their Kojo deck banned, like what else they would pivot to. I think it's
yeah.
an exciting format personally.
Yeah, no, I like the format. I can understand what people are saying as far as, like, the band setups, um, and taking away a popular, I guess, deck from a player, or a popular hero from a player. I think it could have functioned equally as well without doing the bans in particular. And finding a different way so that way you could at least see that favorite and then they still have to win at least once on a different deck. Or they could do the setups that you see a lot in not necessarily TCGs, but in any type of like band setup and games as a whole is where you can protect a particular deck kind of thing and leave the other two open for banning. I don't know. Either way, I think it is more of a net positive than the potential of a negative because who knows, you may have something better and people seeing you win on other decks may force them to start banning those instead
Mm,
of the original deck they thought they were going to ban. Just a lot goes into it, and I think the idea that we have of the best players having to put together new decks, play new decks, and think of multiple things is probably the best way to get the best individual representative of the best player within Altered as a whole.
yeah.
But I can see the option either way. Um,
Yeah.
but it seems like things are still not working. And then we got in chat. They're not gonna bring POD freeloader. Sorry. That's just not gonna happen. At least this way we can say that because if you have to go to LCQ and based off of that, just like pack Keelan guy with you at that
Mm.
point. I didn't end up asking him if he has that family thing still going on or not, but would be cool to get both of y'all over and in particular. But if not, what can we do? I guess I could fly into Switzerland instead of Paris and just try to find Keelan guy and tell him to come and say, "Forget, like, your partner and your relatives and whatnot."
Yeah, I feel like that's fair. There may only be a Worlds in Paris for Altered once, but your family is around, multiple years, and
Yeah.
really, what are they gonna do or say any different than they say every Thanksgiving or whatever? So,
Yeah, I mean, and even if they're moving to another country, technically, I mean,
mhm,
there's video chat, and
true.
that's basically the same thing as being there in person.
Yep. Text messages, yeah. For
That's
the
right, Switzerland does have is Switzerland the one with bunkers? Like, in the Alps? That's the one with
they
bunkers, right?
they gotta where they hide all the gold.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that that's the place that wasn't the Swiss Alps the place where they built all those bunkers at one point that people bought or that people are still buying for some reason? I don't remember, to be honest. Thought that was
Probably
like a
it's
thought that
probably
was a
true.
thing, like, in, like, World War II or something.
Yeah. For for the altered side of it and conquest, I kind of look at it, so I come from esports more than TCG before altered, and like it might not be the smartest thing to just always straight up ban the deck that is hypothetically the best of the player. You could have someone that's like, actually, I think my matchup into Freeloader's Kojo is really good on my Sigismar or whatever. So I'm not going to ban the Kojo and I'm going to ban one of the other decks that I have, you know, less belief in my ability to beat. So I think it's super interesting. I'll be honest, I was pretty sure I wasn't going to Worlds, so I
Mhm.
have not read through all of the event information yet.
Mm.
I should probably do that. I got my email that the state is processing my passport application, so progress is moving, unfortunately for you, Blue.
Yeah, I mean, what can you do? But, yeah, no, I think the event will be fun as a whole. I know there's a lot of things going on the weekend. Main thing I think will be cool to just see everybody. I plan on the easiest thing, like we were talking about, knowing who people are and what they're wearing to figure out who they are. The best thing about me in particular is that I will always be having a headband and glasses on. So if you're unsure, if there happens to be someone else that does that as well, I will be surprised. But if not, it'll be pretty easy to tell who I am. I won't be wearing my suit the entire time because I do have multiple suits, but I don't want to pack more than one because it takes up a lot of room. But I will wear the suit on one of the days just for funsies.
How do you decide what day to wear the suit?
Probably Sunday, right? That's the big day, right? It should be Sunday, you think? Or what do you think? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't even know what's on Sunday.
Well, Sunday's like the finals and everything in particular, I'm pretty sure, and I think it's also the 2v2 event. Um, Friday's the LCQ, or is it Thursday? I don't remember. I think it's Friday. And then Saturday is the 3v3, I'm pretty sure, and some more of the actual event to get us down to the top tippity top, and then Sunday will be. I don't know if they're doing like semis and finals on Sunday, or if they're splitting it up differently. But at least the finals on Sunday, and I think that would be fun just to walk around and meet some folks. But either way, it should be pretty easy to spot me as a whole. I'll be the guy speaking English and wearing sunglasses and a headband. Headband? I don't know. Either way.
Yep.
Uh,
And if you need to find me, you'll just see my head up above everyone else's.
it's true.
So there's definitely no one that will be there taller than me. And if there is, I will just make sure they are not seen. So
Yeah.
Simon did give us an update, though. It looks like we are going to give it 23 more minutes from right now to see if we can get the games going. If not, unfortunately, the games will just be played asynchronous or whatever the hell the word is that you would use for that.
Yeah. I'll message him. Probably.
Yep, I can still not select the deck either.
But yeah, like you said, 45 minutes past the hour will be the time where we give up on Altered figuring it out, or at least on the BGA connection to Altered to figure it out, and go ahead and let the players do stuff on their own time. I mean, there are people playing games at the moment, right? So are they just not playing with real decks?
I don't know. We have a pretty varied split across the globe of where people are. So I don't think it's only specific servers are affected or something. If we go, how many live games are there though? That would be what to check. Um, I see a lot of progression 0%
Yeah.
on some of these live games here. But as Argon says, one person was able to select their deck so far,
But
and
not their opponent, I'm guessing?
yeah, Argon themselves were not able to. And yeah, I just went into one of the live matches here, and they're both just kind of sitting here looking at each other with no decks selected.
I mean, I just went into one game where people are playing on mobile. I mean, it's not part of the tournament, but they're obviously not playing with starter decks because I see a unique on the board. Um, and it's at like 20% or so. So they couldn't have started before this stuff. So they may have just gotten lucky. I don't know.
Yeah. These people that probably have no idea who I am are wondering why
Oh,
I'm here
no.
spectating their game.
Oh, never mind. One of the players is definitely using a starter deck. The other player isn't.
There you go. Yeah, these clocks in this game are ticking down to like 50 seconds left and they haven't done anything. So someone forgot to tell us the obviously most important online organizers that, they were pushing an update and the API would be unavailable.
Appy.
If anyone takes that serious, that was definitely a joke. Shout out to all the other tournament organizers, AQZ, LATAM. I think it's who is it specifically that started doing parents' time? I feel like I know, but I don't want to mix up who it was. I think it was Man
Doing
of Games, wasn't it?
doing what time?
So there's a new tournament series, newer. It's been going for a couple weeks
Oh,
now.
parents' time. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that on BGA. I didn't really look into it though.
Yeah, yeah, by Man of Games. So Man of Games has been around, been doing tournaments for a while. And I think the Nordic team, which I don't think I've had the opportunity to speak with any of them yet, but they've had a tournament series going for a little bit, run by Nordic Langdale. So shout out to them. If you're on the Nordic team and you watch AWOL or I don't know, hear this for some reason, it'd be cool to. I like talking to all the other different areas and making sure
Mhm.
that we all are aware of each other. One of the events we did, we had a Spanish, a French, and an English stream, so that was really cool. I like doing stuff like that.
For sure. But yeah, yeah, I'm looking at all the games. Looks like there's a lot of demo deck games, normal ones, some other stuff. And it's hosted by Restless. That's a solid name. I like that. And it's not like restless, it's
Yeah, it's
restless.
restless. So that means I haven't talked to Freeloader directly yet, but that means Freeloader is confirmed going to Worlds, right?
I
I
think
know.
I believe he said he was, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I know Pandy said that he's gonna make it for I think like 2 days total. Um
Yeah,
Runefolk I think is going, but I haven't heard for how long or for what.
yeah,
And then Rinku qualified, so Rinku will be there. And then the verdict is still out on Keelan guy.
yeah.
Um yeah. Yes, sir. Let's go.
That's cool. I hope if Rune's still listening or if he's sick or freeloader, if you can confirm with Rune that he doesn't cut his hair before the event, that would be great. I my favorite thing is long locks Rune. That's there's nothing better. I still have that gif that I made of him doing the flip, and it was quite beautiful.
Yeah. I have since I went outside and it's kind of hot today, I have this very lovely curl that will not stay up. So not not
You got a
quite as luscious as Rune as I'm getting older, but
yeah, you got a
close.
Superman curl going.
Yep.
Um, no, 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 don't. Honestly, maybe he's born with it. Um, yeah, I mean, did you buy the stuff for the side events freeloader? They're all sold out now, aren't they? Pretty sure they
Yeah,
are.
I think so. The LCQ is almost sold out. I
Yeah.
mean, while we're here, I guess I might as well just read all the information that I haven't read yet. Um, do we want to talk about streams and such on the ground, or do we want to wait until we know more things?
I mean, everyone is asking, but I mean, we don't know.
Yep.
So we'll
Am not even making it up, but I have been asked by multiple people, like,
yeah, same. Like
oh,
people just asking, but like we don't know. It
no idea.
yeah. We'll see what's going. I mean, worst case scenario, what I definitely want to do is be able to um stream stuff that's going on at the event so people can see it. I think would be cool.
Mhm.
And if not streaming, recording it to make for a video. But I'd probably do just like some in person um like blogging slash things so everyone can see stuff as it's live. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I think that's the hopes if we don't get a English broadcast set up or figured out or told about or whatever is do something just between Blue and I, and see
Or
what
whoever else is there that wants to join along, to be honest.
yeah, anyone who wants to help.
We can we
Uh,
can we can do a makeshift thing. I could buy a table in France, and we can just set up inside of the venue, and they'll be like, "What are you guys doing?" Just and we'll say, Don't bother us. We're busy."
yep,
Yeah, we'll get Loki to block off anyone with his sword or something.
yep. Anyone who's in that area of Paris know a good place to get what we would call a beer pong table. Let us know. I have one in my garage, but I think that'll be hard to bring on the plane.
Which are surprisingly expensive now. I was surprised to see like one at like a Walmart that and they're more expensive than I remember as far as those types of tables, the little foldable ones. But
Yeah, those used to be like the move because they were like $30, $35 or something.
yeah, if that. Now it seems like they're almost like 60 plus.
Man, you can't be a broke college kid these days anymore.
Yeah. What can you do? You just gotta use the dining table that your parents gave you.
uh, let's see. Okay, so I think I need to go to the learn more about the finals. And let me learn about this. Um, I mean, we're still sitting here for another 10 minutes, so we can just kind of talk about whatever the hell we want. Because I don't know if the games don't happen, we'll probably just delete this VOD. But if
Yeah,
you,
didn't we do that for another one of the weeks at some point where we just talked for 30 minutes about stupid shit the entire time? I don't remember
yeah,
if
I
it's
don't
still up or
know.
not.
But if you need help with any streams at all, definitely reach out to AWOL or me or Blue. Uh, Me personally, if you haven't heard the joke, I'm currently unemployed, so I would love more opportunities to help with those kind of things, like we did with Canada or the WCQs for Altered and the demo deck tournament.
Mm,
And I have extra time for now
yeah,
until I am in uh, Paris,
yeah, and
October 15th to the 23rd.
yeah, and we're pretty good at doing it remotely too. So if you don't want to fly us over, although I don't mind traveling personally, yeah, we can figure out something mobily. We put together that one in like a week or so, right? It's over in Canada. Not too bad if I may say so.
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
can definitely do that. I'm willing to go anywhere, especially now that I have my passport. It's just I can't afford to fly myself anywhere.
yeah. Even up front, it would be nice to have paid for travel up front. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially for Collier. But yeah. Other than that, for Worlds, if anyone wants, got a big Airbnb, so we're gonna have a party every night. Just kidding, Airbnb host. We know there's no parties allowed.
Yep, no parties allowed. I was thinking about it when I was driving yesterday, I think. And now that I have my passport, I was like, I can go to Mexico.
Yeah, it's true.
Um, and I can't remember where Sepe was saying has altered in Mexico. But how cool would it be to just go down to Mexico to play some altered?
I
Um,
mean, that would be something. I don't know how feasible it would be, but I guess you
yeah,
are in Texas, but Texas is also a big state. It's always funny
yeah.
when people from other countries or other states that are smaller be like, "Oh, you're in that state, so you can obviously just go to anything in that state." Well, not exactly.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm in North Texas, so looking at driving, if I want to go to Saltillo, I'm guessing that's how you would say it. About a 10-hour drive.
Mm,
Um, I can't remember where. Oh, I think it was Puebla. So Puebla would be way too far. Yeah, 21 hours. But if I just want to get just inside the border of Mexico, uh 8 hours. There you go. That's an easy day drive.
yeah. They just stay there for the night.
I mean, they might not let me back in the United States after I leave.
That's true. Always harder getting back in. Oh man. Well, we're about 9 minutes away from what Simon said. Simon said, it does look like there are some people getting through to some games, but not all of them. So that would make it a problem for multiple games in an event to do so.
Yeah.
Let's look at this.
I still cannot select my deck in this game,
Yeah.
so do you watch Demon Slayer at all?
Ugh. Um, no, I watch K-pop Demon Hunters.
Hmm. Dexter said that he was not a fan, but Dexter's opinions are sometimes terrible,
Of
so
what? K-pop Demon Hunter?
yeah.
Oh, well,
Was it good?
I thought it was good. I mean, it's a solid movie.
Cool.
It's I'm a big fan of music within movies that are actually
Hmm.
produced well and aren't necessarily. I mean, I like Disney music, but I don't like always the campy Disney music that gets made on occasion.
Yeah.
So, when it's actually produced well and they have good music as a whole, then, I'm always a big fan of that, especially in animation-based stuff. Speaking of which, the animation in that movie was pretty cool. It's not something that I had seen pretty regularly as far as, different types. It's always fun when they throw something out there that isn't regular. I think shows like Arcane made that something where people are trying to strive more instead of just mimic other styles of animation. Just come up with your own shit, you know?
Yeah, I remember when they made the first Spider-Verse movie.
Mm,
They like literally invented a new form of animation for it. So
yeah, it's another good example.
that was super cool. Yeah, Argon was able to select their deck, but am I able to? If I'm not able to, oh, I did. Wow, we might have got in just under the wire here.
Was it time? Finally getting some progress.
Unless everyone was like, well, now I'm going out. Yeah, but the reason I asked is was like, oh, now I can go just go see Demon Slayer. But
All right, let's go ahead and go to the game with the people that have done it, so at least we can get one round in, just in case things start bugging out again. It'll be Argon and ammo. It looks like
yeah, let me see here. Argon 1.
they put the link in there.
Oh yeah, that was ammo that did it. All right. What is this? Is this real what I'm seeing here?
Looking at
I am in the game.
sweet. Did get to watch a little bit of Ammo's deck against Fernico in that last round. Fun little festival Rin deck. And then we have Argon on a good old fashioned Asira and running some Osmos. Never can go wrong there.
The unfortunate thing is now we are not deleting this VOD. So enjoy those conversations that were had. Um Yep, we are in the game now. We have a Ozma that is just at dusk. If I have one or more boosts, draw a card. Very simple, very easy, very nice. I'm fixing some things up here. That's gonna be fine enough. Yeah, festival. I am honestly not looking forward to how many people are excited to play festival with the new Sky cards. I think we should just stop playing festival. Old news. We don't need to play it anymore.
I don't think it's that bad. I kind of like I did like the spot that festival was in this previous set where it wasn't obviously meta, but there
Hmm.
was an occasional setup of people wanting to play it and having some success on it. Whereas there are others that where there's still some good responses for cost permanence and everything. But yeah, it should be interesting. I wouldn't mind a push for festival decks. I don't know if I want them to be. like top end meta though. I like them being in the spot of being an anti meta deck where people aren't always playing it, but they have to think about it, you know? That would be ideal for me, but we'll have to see how things pan out. In the meantime, though, we do have Basir with an early 2 spot lead here on Tumult, which isn't too surprising, but they will have to deal with that anchored aloe vera that is out on the board at the moment. And big thing for ammo is they're not using some unique Capellias, just using the standard rare out of action ones.
Yeah. This Basira. So what are we gonna be looking for here? Mana eruption, I think. Jewel of Grit maybe can help out against Festival. What's what's other landmark removal that Basira would normally have?
It would just be, I would imagine they would just be using mana eruption and duel of grit.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think you need much more than that. Obviously, they could have some type of uniques with removal available to them. There's a good amount of uniques and bravos that do get rid of permanents as well.
Hmm.
I do. I imagine though there's just a lot of Ozma based draw uniques in this deck and maybe some boosters, but occasionally there's one that has like a second ability of getting rid of permanents or a character or something along those lines. So I wouldn't be too stressed about it if I was Basira, but at the same time, you got to be aware. And we do get to see a rare Bravos Blade Dancer come out here to start triggering that Basira ability onto the Ozma, which makes sense. And yeah, we'll be able to maintain that lead and be only 2 advances away from taking this game and putting themselves into the quarterfinals, I believe, in top 8. So yeah.
Yeah, very, very speedy, quick here. What I always try to watch out for when I'm playing against a festival deck is from what I've seen, very often they'll want something that is fleeting to maybe start anchored and fleeting. And if you see that, it is very dangerous. Right now, though, what Rin is going into is no cards will have anchored, none of them will have fleeting, none are or were asleep, and all we have visibility into is the snoozer shroom, which can provide the sleep, but it cannot provide both the sleep and the fleeting. So all of that to say, the Sierra seems to be in a very good position here.
Yeah, just one double advance away from taking the game. And we'll have to see how things turn out. In particular, able to get some type of card advantage by being able to utilize that unique Ozma. Going to push for even more with the Haven Sarengar. But it is 2 for 2 there. Card that I don't get to see a lot that is pretty cool as far as Muna Merchant, especially in the rare version coming out here in order to resupply from the reserve. Um, Typically hasn't been something that you'll see in Muna decks, but looks like Ammo is able to utilize it here in the Rin gameplay for the festival. We do get to see a second Snoozer Shroom get resupplied off of that ability. Not sure how Argon's going to be able to respond here. I don't think they immediately want to play that Blade Dancer, but we'll have to give them a chance to play what they have in hand, which is just a Fire Rabbit that they will activate the ability for.
A very, very good card to play out and have 3 mana left. From here, we did see one of the festivals on Emo's side was already dumped. So now we have 2 cards that do have fleeting, and maybe one of those is going to be put to sleep so it can remain. Um, from yeah, it just seems like a hard position for ammo either way, but currently is at least blocking aggression on the companion side and advancing themselves on both.
Yeah, still has to deal obviously with 3 mana left here for the Basira player in Argon. and then we'll see how things turn out. Taking their time to decide, and we get to see a unique Isin Boshi. When a character you control gains one or more boosts, up to one target character gains fleeting, and then when I leave the expedition zone, if I have two or more boosts, draw a card. So I have to imagine they have some way to trigger another boost here with one mana. It could be another Fire Rabbit, could be another Blade Dancer, it could be a variety of things in that aspect. Maybe even a helping hand. I don't know. Probably not a helping hand, but gonna bet more so on maybe a unique, another Blade Dancer, or another Fire Rabbit.
Ooh, the Duende is going to steal a boost, though.
Yeah, just one though. I'm sure that was the reason for the slow play here from the Basir player, and waiting to see if that Duende was going to be used or to play around it. Gonna take it. Be curious to see where they put it. I imagine they're gonna try to put it on the companion side, and they do. And we'll see what that one cost is left here for the Basir player, and if it will be enough. It should be, technically. Okay, so Tolarian Skater. It's another good one. Should be able enough to at least get them the advance here. Be able to get that second boost onto the Senboshi in order to draw a card. Won't be able to block, so it'll be a 2 for 1, but it still puts them adjacent and in an overall good spot, as well as being able to draw from the Haven Sarengar, so plenty of resources. They can also probably get rid of that Bravos Blade Dancer, I'd have to imagine, and keep the Isenboshi. Maybe they decide to do some other things, I don't know. But for the time being, it not looking bad for the Basira, especially since the Ren player is 3 advances away from winning the game, so they could even technically give up a 2-0 and still have the game go on for another day.
Yeah, looks like we have most everyone was able to get into their game, but there's maybe still one matchup that is not able to fire. Hopefully, working through that and they're able to get connected. Does my altered services still say unavailable? I'll check here on the side. Sierra, let's see. Target card to discard to reserve based on the Rin ability and advancing on Forest. Yeah, everything that they have is going away though, isn't it? Or did I miss yeah, the snoozer shroom is still there. Interesting. Interesting. What's going on here? Don't know why you wouldn't want to save the aloe at least. I guess wanting to progress to keep things even.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on what the setup is. Ammo saying that Argon has a good amount of draw. Yeah, I mean, you're playing Bravos. You gotta set up all the good draws for everything. I mean, they're not gimmies either. They do require a boost to be set up, or if not both multiple boosts. Ammo's not feeling too confident going into this final day, but still got to play it out and see which of these players is able to advance to the quarterfinals of the top 8. And we'll see if they're available, but we may be able to get Rinku in here at some point to do a little casting for everyone and talk your ears off a little bit, uh, and talk about why they decided not to make top cut, because I know it was intentional.
Yep. Had to have been intentional. A player as good as Rinku not being in top cut, what's he doing?
It's craziness. So they did decide to get rid of that festival, probably thinking that they wouldn't be able to get that victory even if they got it on the board and it was some type of way that it would be dealt with. I have to imagine that if they do run into any removal that the Basira is holding on to it, although they did have no cards in hand previously until they got those additional draws. So maybe they've been playing a little bit greedy and not worrying too much about the festival with the lead that they've had on the tumult.
Yeah, we were Everett. We were trying to kind of figure that out, wondering if Ammo's just trying to keep things alive on the tumult. Already dumped 2 festivals into the discard. I was trying to help a little bit with some of the other game issues. So I missed if sleeping the aloe was just mostly beneficial, but that's what I thought was going to happen instead of letting absolutely everything go away. But Ammo is already saying GG in the chat, so maybe they just are reading the writing on the wall and not seeing a way out of it for them. Or maybe it's all a misdirect and they have the win right here.
Looks like they're going to play it out either way. So we'll see if that ends up being the scenario here. If they do end up losing, good spot for that tiny gen to be available for Argon on the Basira. They still haven't activated the Basira ability, which makes me think that they're holding for it. Ammo just playing cards as little as possible as well. Only has 3 mana, so I'm not sure what they're able to do here to be able to stop the Basira player. More than likely, we'll be seeing some type of boost setup. Tolarian Skater is a solid one. And could also just throw the Isenboshi out using the support ability, and they don't want to play it. But yeah, we'll wait here. Only 3 cards left to be played, and probably only 1 or 2 plays left for ammo on the Rand based off of the amount of mana they have left.
Rinku's replacing me, right? Not you?
No, he's replacing me.
Ooh, the clue. Even without anything to exhaust, this is a very strong card, also allowing Basira to be activated. And the good old Tiny Jin has the mountain that you need if you are in this very specific situation, which Argon is. Also, how long has it been Exalt's Argon? I think
Hasn't been that long, I don't think.
Yeah, I think I remember him asking how to change your name in chat a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, because we don't
Um,
have a lot of Exalt's team members in the states, right? For the while, longest time it was just Trickster. So good for them. I'm surprised that they didn't decide to use the support ability on the Ace and Boshi just to have another boost on the Clute, but maybe they just felt confident regardless, and just in case the Rin player and ammo was able to get that double advance, you'd be able to save that Isenboshi for later. But now, likely just looking at a final play here, and it will be a unique Capelia.
yeah, I mean this would have been a festival win right here if Amma was able to get that landmark out, but did not happen. So
They didn't. They were able to maintain the game to keep on going on here when they thought it was a GG regardless. So
yeah.
good for them on that setup, and they have a unique to be able to play it. And interestingly enough, they do throw down the beauty sleep. Give me a trigger for reserve for a clue. Yeah, see, I was right. Argon's listening to me. Shoulda
Yep.
shoulda used it. You're welcome.
Yep.
But we do are gonna maintain for another day here, and we'll see what ends up happening.
Yeah, it looks like there are some people that are still not able to play their game, and already a matchup that has decided to schedule their game for tomorrow.
Okay.
So I don't know yet what that will mean for stream. But we'll be here as long as we have games to talk about, and hope everyone out there is doing well, having a good day, enjoying some entertainment. Uh, I have the speed running bug again, and might want to find something to speed run for the next week while we have a 1 week break. I
What
don't.
are some previous speed games you've done speedrunning for?
I technically only have a time on one of the Resident Evil survivor like levels. I think it's called
Mm,
Ghost Survivors, and
mm,
it's the Lost Soldier.
mm,
It's a fun practice, but I am not uh good at it or
mm.
spent enough time on it at all. But sometimes it's fun to try.
Yeah, no, I like a good Resident Evil speed run. I think the latest one that I liked the most was, I think it was 7? Is that the one, is that Biohazard or something like
Yeah,
that? Yeah, I think I like that one.
yeah,
Um We do get a lot of boosts going on here on the next day on the companion zone, and we'll have another 3 mana left to be able to play that Tolarian Skater as well. Just stacking up on one side, it looks like here for Argon on the Basira. Going to see what the Ren and Orchid player has available to them. They did get that Beauty Sleep Exhausted, so unless there's another card that does an interactable here, it's not going to help them. And then, sure enough, they do get to hit a Dewinde here.
yep.
So gonna put that all over on the companion side, and we'll see if that's enough to be able to stop the Tolarian Skater that's gonna come out, or if they have something else in hand that's gonna prevent the Basira player from taking this game. What a game it would have been if Ammo ends up taking this one.
Yeah, I was literally looking at this tiny Jin and thinking how scary of a target it would be for Sap Duende.
Ah, he has Beauty Sleep.
Ouch.
GG's indeed. So it may have come down to just a slight misplay there on the Isin Boshin play or something else, but we do get a victory for Ammo. Congratulations.
Yeah. Uh if we would have tied, which would have not allowed the double move to win the game outright here.
Mhm.
So yeah, GG's Argon. Gonna have to run the tape back. Make sure you're prepared for Paris. But it's okay. If you don't qualify or anything, you can just come, hang out with us, go see some skeletons or something or whatever else we end up doing. So
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, like you said, I think there is a game or two that is still not being able to work, so it'll be dependent on this who wins what if they get to play them to the next round. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and bail and let a WCQ qualifier who's going to be in Paris join you and be able to talk a little bit.
sounds good. Go ahead and get him in here. I'll start changing things around and find our next game.
All right, sounds good. Have a good one, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the season 3 AWOL Invitational, and be ready in what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? I don't know, 2 weeks for the next season.
Yeah. Too soon.
Too soon. All right, bye bye.
See ya. All right. What's up, chat? I'm switching things. I'm finding us a game. Don't you worry. Um, putting in Rinku's information. We're out here. Da, da, da. Boop, boop. All right. We have that switched around. Let's see what game we have still going. Oh, this one from Freeloader looks over. What's up, Rinku?
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, I gotta turn off the stream. Okay, cool. Should be good now. Um, okay, yeah. So I have a few matches open. I still have Eliwee's open. Ammo's finished. I have Fernico's open, and it looks like Freeloader's winning, so we don't need to watch that. Eliwee, we might have a come from behind, something we're kind of used to seeing from Fens. Fen will sometimes kind of accrue this advantage over time, so maybe giving up some expedition leads in the beginning. Um, so yeah, if we could mosey on over to that.
Yes. Very easy table for me to get to as Eliwee and I are friends on Altered.
And
Uh,
in real life.
yep, true facts. Never met him. I don't think I've ever even seen what he looks like, but we're IRL friends for sure.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be kind of a hard part for me when we go to France, or hopefully in some of our cases, but when we go to France, It'll be actually meeting people in person is actually kind of hard for me sometimes, if I haven't seen their face, because then, like, I have some sort of, like, mental image. Like, I'm sure for the people that haven't been associated with me before, like, in Magic or anything, that meeting me in Dallas or, like, just seeing me, like, might have been weird. Or, like, when I saw people in Baltimore, I'm like, "Oh my god, you're that person?" Like, it was kind of disorienting. So, like, when I hear Eliwee, I only picture Fen and Crowbar. So, like, obviously that does not exist in person. It's gonna be really weird for me.
Yeah, definitely. And people more commonly introduce themselves by their real name.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I don't know who that is.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to tell me what your Discord name is. It happens at conventions to me all the time, and then they tell me what their name in Discord is. I'm like, oh, okay, okay, I know who you are now.
Yeah, exactly. So, looking at the game, so I actually lost round one to Eliwee. I screwed up day one and day two, which isn't ideal. Um, but yeah, I pretty much got acapella training out of the game, and then they I think are only playing one rare Duel of Grit. I haven't seen their list, but I made a play that's good against everything except for rare Duel of Grit, and I just
Mm.
assumed they weren't playing it. Um, so I got pretty walloped on in the first 2 days, which set the tone for the rest of the match. But as a result, I'm very familiar with the uniques they're playing. In the discard pile, there's this Esmeralda that like loops and kind of just does everything that you want. What's more interesting is playing this Katagiri Mage Dancer that's in play. So you might be saying, wow, this is something that's good for Nevenka. But I think they're playing 2 or 3 Snowball Commandos. So kind of kind of addressing Trace in some ways by trying to exhaust things with that pseudo Jack Frost sort of effect. But if you can combine that with the unique Katagiri Mage Dancer, then you're rolling the extra dice to be able to pick up cards. And you can actually chain a bunch of commandos together if you wanted to. You can like play this mage dancer, pick up commando your other thing, and then like pick up something else and then play that. So kind of wild. And that's actually why we see the commando still being in the reserve there.
Yeah, that is some very cool tech from the Fen wizard himself. I personally give him credit for the Amale inclusion in a lot of Fen decks. As far as I know, he was the first one that I ever saw using it, and everyone in that moment was like, "Why is he playing Amale?" And then 2 weeks later, it was more than just Eliwee. I'm not even sure if this deck uses it anymore. So, as you mentioned, you prepared for everything except for rare Duel of Grit. You can
Yeah.
never know what Elwee's gonna toss into the Fen deck.
Yeah, they are playing one Amale. They played in their first match. But I think they might not be playing aloe vera. I think I haven't looked at the list explicitly, like from watching replays or anything, but we got to the situation where they were redrawing their discard pile, and I'm pretty sure they didn't play an aloe in our game.
They
So
were, as you mentioned, able to come up from behind. Now it is neck and neck. Siggy versus Fen. I mean, this Templar is not as useful in reserve, but it still does have free in water. So
mhm.
there's so many good things for LWB right here, though.
Yeah, I think the hard thing to overcome is usually going into either the last or the penultimate turn or day of the game. Sigismar likes to do some sort of like rallying call twice or some sort of like after you. But you can actually look at the mana here and see that Elwee isn't missing mana drops as they do as Fen. But it looks like Sigismar actually went up to 8, which is a lot for a Sigismar deck. We see in the discard pile that there was a unique Hakoba that draws 2 every time. I mean, if things go well for you. So probably converting some of that card advantage into mana. So what's really interesting in this game is you can go from card advantage into mana, and then just by playing cards naturally, you're after Ewing while developing your board. And that's what we're kind of seeing from LWE here. So by having this Katagiri Mage Dancer that can pick up the Snowball Commando, then you Snowball Commando and pick up something else, instead of kind of spinning your wheels by being like magical training, sleight of hand, magical training, which is good if it results in an Anansi or two. But if it just results in you playing your normal cards, it's not like actually affecting the board. But to be able to both affect the board and be able to do it in this sort of way is very powerful. Pretty interesting to still pick up the magical training as opposed to the Hathor, because the Hathor is really good on the hero side here.
Well, it's maybe a callback to something you mentioned just a second ago, the power of one drops and the after you, which I feel like we see a lot of Fen players do, but especially Eliwee, playing out specific things that are going to conserve a bunch of mana until they have there's another one drop sleight of hand. Until they have the full picture of what you're going to do, then they'll just respond to all of that. But yeah, I love this interaction right here between the Snowball Commando and this Mage Dancer unique. It's very cool.
Yeah, and one consideration or one thing to think about is why the common sleight of hand. We're so used to seeing the rare version, and I think it's sort of a nod to the fact that the uniques that Elwee is choosing to bring this time between the Esmeralda and the discard pile and the Katagiri Mage Dancer in play, you have enough uniques that get things back. So then you need to just use sleight of hand to pick up characters like the uniques. But it looks like Blue Ocean's not going down without a fight. Probably anticipating this one going into the arena if they don't lose on the spot. But leading off on the Sandman, and we know that there's a Hathor in hand now, so it looks like that's going to be a 1-0 victory going into this being the last day.
Yeah, very, very interesting end turn here. You probably have more insight into it than I do. The rare Sandman.
Mhm.
I, I f- I like to use it because I will only play Ghoul if I play
Mhm.
Ortis, and I have one of those Siluses that draws.
Yeah.
And using the rare in Ghoul is just great. But I feel like
Mhm.
I've seen an increase of it in just overall Ortis. Is it
Mhm.
just because it's so situationally good, or is there another reason that that's kind of upticked?
Yeah, so we've seen somewhere between 1 and 3 in lists since the beginning of set 3. You can set up a lot of plays where you can kind of use the sort of like rallying call and like after you sort of thing, and then you can like Sandman plus like interact on the other side. Like you can kind of go for a double advance, and then kind of like how Fen tries to like twinkle twinkle in the last turn, and then be like, oh, I guess I double advance to victory. So we also see, so I think various broadcasts have kind of talked about the evolution post Aphanis. Um, and one thing that happens is like people aren't actually used to getting like off you go anymore because you don't have to. So that means a lot of people are focusing more on like building board presence. So we see more physical trainings. We see more just like this one thing being very good. Um, and yeah, like you want more interaction that's like very proactive going into the later game. So Sigismar is very good at getting like a 2-1 or 2-0 advance and then using sleep to kind of push that over the top through the things that you don't have good removal spells for. Like other than teamwork training, like even license withdrawal isn't at its best. Like it's kind of clunky, it costs a lot. You want to hit those like big permanents with it, but like overall it's not necessarily what you would want to be doing. But Sandman can address the problematic things in a lot simpler of a fashion.
Yeah, it's a very, very good card, and having the ability to give something boosts or only put it to sleep, things like that. Very, very good decision. We do have a little bit of life here in the other game between Banish and Papiette. At least I think maybe. I have not been able to take full stock of the game yet. I'm just throwing it up here.
Let me join this one.
Let's see. there's a lot to take a look at here. So I think just giving it a glance, I think this could go any way really.
Yeah, so Popiat, I also lost to in the Swiss. So that one was like a very interesting game where they actually hit both of their otters early, and I pretty much had to decide if I was going to fight over otters or fight over the Lyra Bastion, the Ouroboros. So I actually let them otter because I double advanced the first 2 days. And then we got into a spot where they like redrew their deck, and I had to decide whether or not I was going to fight over the Ouroboros again or the otter. And then I pretty much like chose this bad like halfway line in between where I end up like letting them resupply a few times and then hit their Ouroboros, and then I just kind of died like naturally or lost the game naturally. I'm still alive. I'm right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Popiet has a build of trace that only them and Kaifu, I think that's their name from Canada,
Mhm.
like with the otters, like that only they can play. So pretty much what they try to do is they play these otters that are able to trigger themselves right away, that pretty much have the line of text that when things go from your deck to your reserve or hand to reserve, we have one on screen now. Um, so being able to make a brass bug, and then you just cycle through your deck, cycle a term borrowed from Magic, but like pretty much to be able to churn through your deck by using all these support abilities that allow you to resupply. So you can like statistically it's improbable, but like with a small enough deck, you can pretty much build infinite things on both sides. And then you can also try to make your deck or reserve in the exact texture that you want for the next turn also.
Yeah, I'm looking at the options here. I was thinking for a second that the Kellen burst could have been just a win for Popiet, but I think the issue here is how do you get over the companion side? And I don't think there's a way to do both, especially because this otter was not out in the expedition. So we'll be able to win the hero side, but Banish will take it because of the companion side. But very close. And we talked a little about Papiet's deck, the Trace deck, the Otters. But here's another very popular deck right now, the
Mhm.
Corgi anchoring uniques in Muna. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely something that's very potent. It it pretty much makes it so that way you just have a lot of threats that like need to be answered. So of course you can get unique with Corgi to anchor your board, but also people want to use removal spells on aloe vera, and you can kind of just go down the chain of like events of just like, oh well, I have to answer this, and now I have to answer this, and like they like anchor a Dracana like 4 times. They're like, well, I have to answer that, and in altered typically, especially post-Aphanis, change. Like people don't want to just play removal spells because really, what would be better than a removal spell is to play a character that can block their character, and then you're like still up that half a card, but you're advancing. Playing a removal spell without advancing doesn't do anything. You can create board parity, but it won't allow you to get ahead. So, due to people not having that many removal spells, that's part of why we're seeing the rise in Muna is because there's not as many people playing the Ysmir faction.
wow, that gives me high hopes for next season, where I will make a return to Muna and try to make things work that aren't anchor uniques because I don't have any. I'm trying
Yeah,
to.
like one player that's kind of my hero is OMB's Hyper K. Just the
Mhm.
fact that they are so good. Like I think they're easily in the top 5 of Tasia players. But if you like adjust for uniques, I think that might be the best. Like their uniques aren't these like, oh yeah, I just like did everything. They're like, man, you just play really well.
Yep, yep, definitely. Big fan of Hyper K. I was trying to see if Freeloader was going to get his game up and going, since we just watched Eliwee, but he's slow, and Eliwee's game against Ammo is already on the way.
All right, let's do it.
So we'll go over there. give the people what they want, the gameplay. And we have a Rin. We know now that this is a Rin festival, but it doesn't always have to be festival. We actually already see one of them in the discard. Ooh, it might have actually gotten removed by Eliwee. There is a cloth cocoon here in the discard.
Yeah, it's
And
kind of hard. Sorry, you can go.
just one for one on the tumult. So everything is equal so far.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to piece together if that cloth cocoon came from the hand or from play. I'm like trying to do some rough math, and I think it might have been from hand, um, which is interesting because like against a deck like Fen, of course you can still win by just like as the Rim player, you can try to have with your companion and um, hero side like meat. But what's pretty cool is that like your Lyra Festival trade with a cocoon that came from somewhere, but you drew a whole card out of it. Then you can like start this like chain reaction of like, well, I have an extra card, so maybe I get an extra like Rin advance, which allows me to draw a card and put another one in reserve, and I just kind of like do this thing. Um, so, and the fact that you got a cocoon also implies that there's no requiem yet, because we would have seen a requiem instead of a cocoon. So you can actually feel kind of good about like trying to set up the sort of anchor thing. So we're seeing the Muna Druid being used here, and really the Eliwee pass. It was actually kind of scary before they passed because they could have also chosen to play say like Magpen Hoarder or something in the hero side, um, but because there's a sleep, but then here there's the merchant, which would already block it, which doesn't quite work. But if they could have got into water, then they could have kind of like went through the zero stat, but instead being like perfectly blocked here, which is pretty good for the Ren.
Yeah, as well, they will now have two different options for fleeting, and then they have the anchored right there in the reserve with the spindle harvesters. And so by that logic, all they need to do is play out a festival and get a sleep, and then they could win this game pretty early. But we'll see.
Yeah. Sorry, I was also just queuing up freeloaders match just in case. Um, but yeah, I was kind of thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about how it's really interesting how our game has both specialists and generalists, um, and how it's like really interesting that if you're a specialist, you can just like try to get like the exact uniques that you want for the situation. So like I'm sure Eliwee has like 20 different like top tier like Fen uniques that you could play, and then you could like swap it in and out. But even as a generalist, you could just be like, oh, I have like my core 3 uniques, and I'll just like see if the new set has something that works with that. So I think it's really cool. I really like how our system works.
Yeah, I have seen Eliwee rotating his Fen unique collection here and there, offering ones that he's done with away, and then picking up new ones.
Like
But there,
the Toy Story meme, right?
yeah, yep. I'm done with these ones now. What else? What else do we got going?
So what I do like about Rin, besides the fact that's my favorite character in the game, but so what Rin gets to do by trying to do the sort of festival thing is sure there's the festival pressure, but also like I talked about how they're kind of up a card from the cocoon exchange, but then they can use cards like Copelia to now be able to try to pincer both sides in advance. So I think it's really interesting. Like in our game, we kind of think about how mana translates into board advantage, which then translates into like the clock on the game and how much is a card worth. And it's really cool to see how Rin can actually convert full cards into tempo, like not in the same way as like Tiny Jin and Mighty Jin, not quite in the same way as um, just like more traditional ways, but like by using that hero power in a few different ways, either to try to anchor more, to try to apply more pressure here. So this Persephone is also pretty good. So one thing to note about Fen in general is that it's actually very hard to remove something that doesn't have fleeting or anchor or anything like that, because you have cards like Requiem, you have cards like Cloth Cocoon. But if it is just normal, as in unaffected by anything, no status conditions or whatever they're called, we can actually see potentially a like I guess acapella training, and maybe that's also why Eliwee is playing the rare Duel of Grit today, to have more ways to just be like, oh wow, that thing's really good, and off you go. Okay, so I actually didn't see this in my match against them, but that is another way to do it. And one thing that's really cool about Fen is you actually play a really good variety of answers. If you play a bunch of like one ofs that go to the reserve between your return effects, it's just very potent, and you can go through your deck like probably within a game.
Yep. Another really good thing to note here from Ammo's side. I mean, it is a very simple thing, but the sleep on the Inkcaster that was not fleeting is actually a really good move. Whereas the other one was fleeting, it's going to go to discard. It's not going to do anything. But sleeping this one that wasn't fleeting is not going to allow it to go to reserve and let Eliwee pick up, and off you go. So simple thing most players will do, but it can also be one of those simple things that you just forget in the moment and are just clicking. So
Yeah.
good to see.
Yeah, so in my quest to actually build a playable deck with my favorite hero, I was actually looking at Copelia uniques, and it's pretty hard to find good ones nowadays. But we see one coming out here from Ammo, and pretty much the way stash conditions work between the Rin sort of activation or trigger is that things like sleep and anchor haven't checked yet, because you just advanced, but you haven't like completed dusk, or I want to get all the terms right, but you just haven't gotten to the part where you would remove those things.
Mm-hmm.
So with that Copelia, you pretty much get to pseudo anchor something and give it 2 boost, which is why we see the Copelia in the other expedition, in the companion expedition, being boosted, which is super potent. Like I said, just so much mana worth of stuff happening through just I advanced in forest, which is so awesome. I really do want to get my hands on one of these types of uniques.
Yeah, this Rin deck is threatening more than just Festival here with plays like that. I mean, it's still very scary because all of these cards are fleeting, which normally you would see as a negative, but in the Festival, it's just so many options for a Festival. The Kodama came out, it has Sleep. Now all they need is Anchored, which they can do with one and play the Festival. But beyond all of that, there's still a lot of stats in both sides here. But this Martingale that gets a boost for each card in each player's reserve does equalize the companion side here.
Yeah, so
Equalize meaning go above in this scenario.
Yeah, so definitely a quick think here. So if you did have festival, you could just play festival here and kind of threaten to be able to play another spindle harvester for a 1 cost anchor.
Mm.
However, there's the onboard, use the support ability from the Twinkle Twinkle plus the off you go to be able to answer the Kodama proactively. So then you'd be missing either sleep or anchor. So instead, still making this a battle over the tumult, which makes a lot of sense. And keeping that Incaster stranded kind of neuters the effect that the off you go will have on the game too. But I guess we're having sleep v sleep here. Everyone's just tired. All these Europeans just it's
Yep.
getting.
Yep, it's getting late. They've just done 8 rounds of Swiss. The good news slash bad news is we won't be able to take it all the way to finals today. I think this game and Freeloader's game are actually the last games we'll be able to show you and commentate for you, as some of the players still did. That's a wonderful Sap Duende as well, but some players still did have an issue picking their decks, so the bracket is kind of stopped once it's progressed as far as it can today.
Yeah, so Sap Duende really showing its prowess in this meta, both from Fen and Lyra decks, but also these Muna decks. So yeah, Sap Duende is like, I was just roughly estimating it the other day, and I'm like, wait, Sap Duende is just like the best Bravos tracer to like have ever traced. Like it's just it can be like that was an 8 boost swing, like take 4 away, add 4 here, plus draw a card. I'm just like, oh my god, like it's just
Yep.
so much for a rare.
Yep. It is a very good card. It almost got cut from the game. Francois was telling us because
Really?
everyone was talking about how it was just so bad for so long, but it was one of his favorite cards. So I
Mm,
can't remember who asked the question, but someone asked the question, okay, how would you make Sap Duende be playable? And then
yeah.
someone else said, just add draw a card on it. And now we have Sap Duende. That is a pretty good card. I can never freaking get the timing right whenever I play it, but
Mm.
right there, it was beautiful.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting, and I wonder with a Skybound Odyssey, there's like the Bravos Knew It, I think it's called. Like there might be ways of like people trying to get more boosts to
Hmm.
try to use that sort of interaction. But I wonder if like Septuende might like be the check and balance for that sort of thing because you can hit things in both reserve and in play.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we're even on the tumult, but due to all the sleep shenanigans over the last day, there's a lot more board presence having come from ammo here. Not even having done that much yet. Um, and with one card in hand. So interesting. So this Esmeralda, one thing that it's able to do is it can pretty much turn the acapella training into a resupply. But then if you were to say play the snowball commando, you can make the snowball commando lose fleeting because since it says when something leaves the expedition zone, when you're oh sorry from the reserve, you're like playing it to the expedition zone, and then you can like unfleeting itself. It's really good with Inkcaster. You can set up some really nice loops if you wanted to. But this festival, I think this is a really nice festival spot because you've already used the Rin ability to have this board presence, and now you can set up the pincer attack that could be very difficult.
Ooh.
A card that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah. So I was thinking this, depending on the card that Eliwee had in hand, this could be a very dangerous time with the festival coming down now. Still very dangerous because what can it's just Requiem, but only if you play. I don't know the cost in Lyra actually. Is it 2 or 3 the one that goes into Lyra?
It's so for Lyra, it's 2 costs, 3 from reserve, and it hits 4 or less for on cost.
All
So it
right.
does hit Lyra Festival.
That's the one thing you wanted to pull from that Amale.
Yeah. Well, so it is hard for Amma to win here through the festival. It is like definitely threatening it. But in El Wiwi's position, and the action is on Amma right now. So if they had say Spindle Harvester and Beauty Sleep, they would still need to think what they want to do here. Okay, we see another unique instead. So getting the sleep action here. Um, yep. So going for the aggressive line. So yeah, I was thinking about this earlier that if you sleep the Inkcaster again, you can keep that off you go in the reserve, and you didn't know that there's a Hathor, but you can kind of set up this really nice line that makes it so that way it's hard for them to pick up that off you go, which is the card you're probably most afraid of. And we're going to see a double advance here. That's going to be pretty difficult for Eliwee to come back from, but mostly from the standpoint that the Rin is still advancing in Forest. Maybe there's a third Copelia hiding out, which might be hard to beat. But yeah, it's still you got to imagine that Eliwee's going to be keeping the Hathor with the off you go to be able to interact next turn. At least the board is going to be clear for the first time in like 3 days.
What are we calculating here? What's up, Rare Cuisine? Yeah, we are watching El Wee versus Ammo. Very interesting game. A lot of back and forth, a lot of sleepiness. And okay, that's what I figured would be the best move, obviously, is sleep the Capelia, let the Kodama move on the hero side, and then yeah, you get the dangerous. It's dangerous. There's so many options now going into this next day. As I was telling Blue, I think one of the scariest things I've noticed while casting festival players is this leaving a fleeting character behind, whether it be anchored or asleep, and satisfying that one condition without technically doing anything the afternoon you're going to need it. So, very scary. And this Muna caregiver has anchored on it. This aloe vera, of course, can anchor itself. Be very interesting to see if Eliwee can stay alive for another afternoon.
Well, so picking up that Requiem's pretty good. So the Requiem can hit the Coppelia if you need to hit fleeting, or it can hit the festival. But the problem is you're kind of being attacked from two sides right now.
Hmm.
So we're actually seeing the lead out on the Requiem. I would guess that we're gonna hit the Coppelia. And the reason for that is since festival needs characters in play in order to win, you also need to progress on the tumult to win. So you kind of need to straddle this line, but more or less just say to yourself, well, if I just wipe out all your characters in play, I get to both advance and be able to play around festival. Whereas if you knock out the festival, you might just lose on board.
Hmm. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Requiem coming out first instead of the Hathor picking up the Off You Go and doing that first? I
Hmm.
guess there are the all of them are already like cards we've seen, so it's not
Mhm.
like you're, hiding something by doing it the reverse way, but
Yeah, you're definitely right that there's some consideration. It could just be trying to get extra information. Um, if you, hmm, I guess, hmm, well, you don't know if everything you're going to want to hit will have fleeting. So maybe I'm not sure if your question is like, why not Hathor up the Off You Go and then play Requiem, or why wouldn't we Hathor the Off You Go and play the Off You Go?
yeah, the Off You Go onto the Capellia.
Yeah.
But yeah, good
Well, so
consideration either way.
if you play the Off You Go on the Requiem, then or sorry, on the Coppelia, then it's not clear if you're gonna be able to Requiem the target you want to, but every card in the Rin deck would be hit by Off You Go.
True. Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think Ammo's doing a good job of just setting up this, kind of just running a wee wee out of mana actually. So we saw the Amale be able to turn the reserve into cards and then back into the reserve from playing them. But I think I was actually sleeping this Incaster every turn. I feel like kind of like unsung hero sort of thing. But being able to sleep that Incaster every turn actually prevented Eliwee from setting up certain loops that they would have liked to. For instance, they would have liked to loop that Esmeralda, acapella trading more things, Requiem more times. I think all that was like very pinched by the sleep.
Ammo showing that there was more than one path to victory here and satisfying the festival as well as putting to sleep Elwee side so that he had zero stats. So GG's to Ammo. Let me run over here and see if we have life in the freeloader game.
Yeah, it looks like Freeloader is likely going to win. There's only one card left. So it would have to be a Beauty Sleep for Freeloader to not win this. Or, yeah, I think I have to be a Beauty Sleep. So took a game on the last turn, just playing a Mana Eruption on the companion side to try to win the companion side. So if this last card's a Beauty Sleep, it looks pretty bad for Freeloader, but otherwise Freeloader's going to win this. All
Ooh,
right.
the
Yeah,
pass.
Freeloader takes it down.
All right. I believe because of that, that will be the last game that we are able to cast live here. The rest of the games will have to be done throughout the next couple days on the player's time due to the pairing issue with Equinox. I'm sure Blue will maybe put something together, maybe announce the winner and interview them or whatever. But that's all she wrote for us here in this. What do you think of the day, Rinku? What stood out to you?
Yeah, obviously disappointing to not make Top Cut a second time. I joked with Freeloader that it was our one tournament anniversary because the way I kind of ended up joining AQZ was by playing against Freeloader in the Swiss, and then
Mhm.
also having talked to Rune Folk earlier and Simon, of course. So I thought it was very interesting how I feel like I'm somehow a little bit more wizened and well connected, but yet I just played like worse, which was like a very humbling moment. I think it's good to just get as much competitive practice as possible, especially ahead of Worlds. But in terms of being a spectator, because of course when my match is finished, I'm watching a ton of other ones. I think the meta is kind of where it's kind of settled in a spot where a lot of people are just trying to do one of two main angles from what I've been able to tell. Seems like people have been either trying to do the sort of like more aggressively oriented plan between the Basira Kojo traced to those like aggressive oriented decks, some Sigismar. Then we have the decks that kind of just take the game to infinity and knows that they'll win there. So that's both the Muna decks that we've seen, so both Tasia and
Mhm.
Rin. But Fen kind of doing that. Not Fen does a good job of playing in between, but kind of plays from behind and has an inflection point. So I think that's kind of the story. The story of almost like two main style of decks. We actually haven't seen what I'll refer to as the engine decks. So think your Gulrang and Atsadi. Kind of a bad showing for them today. But some of that might just be the players that were able to attend the event. Like we didn't have players like Phobia or some of the Gulrang players with these really good draw uniques. So um, you know, there's some form of selection bias of the people that are able to make the event on pre-release weekend. But we really do appreciate so many people being able to join us today.
Well said, well said. I think that's a accurate take of the meta, of course. The meta is always pretty fun and interesting, but when you're in like the last 2 weeks of the season, it kind of just is what it is. So I'm looking forward to next season. Skybound Odyssey seems insane, and just adding new heroes into the mix is going to be very interesting. Very excited to have two playable Muna heroes for the first time. So that'll be great because I don't consider Festival. It is a cool deck though. Ammo was very cool to see, especially the decks that don't 100% rely on Festival.
Yeah.
Very cool to see. Good job to Freeloader and all the other players, Eliwee, Ammo, all of you in the top cut, and everyone who played in Swiss, and everyone over the season. Is there anything else you want to tell the good people before we sign off, Rinku?
Um, I think these next few weeks will be very enjoyable for everyone. So just um, think with an open mind as to not only the cards that currently exist, but cards that currently exist that might make older uniques or older cards better, or certain heroes that can highlight older cards. Just use this time as a time of, I guess, like enjoyment and celebration, which will culminate in the World Championship happening. And you know, even if Worlds doesn't go exactly how I want to, I think just having a 1 year celebration of the game with both the new heroes, new cards, and everything is wonderful. So I guess I would just say for the next few weeks, definitely proceed with an open mind, but also that like little kid joy that you're experiencing by just seeing new things happening.
Yeah, I know players want to, go to Worlds and they want to do really well in the World Finals and maybe even possibly win. But honestly, for those players that qualified through the WCQs, in my mind, you already like freaking won. You get a
Mhm.
trip to Paris, and then you just get to go play more altered and maybe see a bunch of people you've been playing with online. So yeah, Very, very good. What did you miss, Alex? Yes, everything, almost everything. We did have some hiccups, so it's not quite everything. But we'll keep you updated in the AWOL server. And Quarantine Rodrigo, yeah, I think those decks are very cool. I don't know if that's you personally that was playing the Rin Festival, but if so, good job. It is very cool to see a deck have two fronts and is also very scary.
Yeah, just like Cole.
I'm very scary on two
You're so
fronts.
tall.
Yep. It's very true. Well, that's gonna be it from us. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, now you can go, I don't know, enjoy your Sunday night. As I said, we'll keep you updated in the AWOL Discord what's going on with the final matches and who is the ultimate victor of season 3. And if you want to be in that position, it does have good prizing. I feel like competitive altered players don't pay attention to the prizing very much. I'm pretty sure someone asked in Top Cut, it might have been Arthur, what is the prizing? So, yeah, it's good
Yeah,
prizing. Play in
it,
AWOL. It's fun.
right. Like this season, if you come in first, and this happened in season 2 also. If you come in first, you get a whole box of the current sets in this case Skybound Odyssey. But there's still packs even for our top 16 competitors, or in some case pack. But so it's yeah, like when like I view the previous AWOL Invitational as a very pivotal time in my development as an altered player, and now I'm a part of a community that I'm very happy with, and yeah, AWOL's where dreams come true.
Well said. What a wonderful thing to leave you all on for the end of season 3. AWOL is where dreams come true. So that is going to be it from us. Everyone have a good night, and we'll see you in like 2 weeks. So don't forget. Bye.
Bye.